Good evening, my friends. This is Paul, and today you are going to hear something that I bet you never thought I would say on this channel, and that is, I beat a good Kirby game. Yeah, that's right. After suffering through 3 extremely underwhelming at best and horrible at worst Kirby games on my Kirby's Dream Collection game, I finally found one that I considered to be a lot of fun from the moment I started it up, and that was Kirby Superstar for the Super Nintendo. What can I say? They just fixed everything that was wrong with Kirby. Better graphics? Check. Better music that I didn't have to mute my Wii U gamepad? Check. Kirby gets a cool new hat. Enemies have life bars. Kirby has cool, amazing abilities. There are 8 games to be found in this collection. And at that point, I just said, what can possibly get better? This is pretty much the epitome of what I had hoped a Kirby game would be. Except I played it in 2017. So, Kirby Superstar Ultra was already out by then. And since I enjoyed Kirby Superstar so much, I still hadn't even beaten it. And I just said, I wonder if the DS version will spruce things up. Boy, did it ever. Continuing my trend of buying pretty much every remake Nintendo has to offer, I got Kirby Superstar Ultra just a few days after I played Kirby Superstar for the first time, not counting the demo in Smash for Wii U, and I found myself just as amazed, if not more, by how much the game had to offer. So let me start with the basics. First off, Kirby Superstar was incredible back when it was released because it was 8 Kirby games released into one game pack. Kirby Superstar Ultra contains all of those, plus more games. And they even improve upon the games that were already in the original. Let me start out by talking about how similar the games are before I talk about how different. So it's essentially Kirby. I mean, you puff up, walk, suck up enemies, spit them out. You can copy their abilities too. But now they added a new tweak that I really liked, which was helpers. If you're tired of using your copy ability, you can press the X button to make a helper appear that's based on the power that you have. So for example, if you have a sword, you can get a Blade Knight as your helper. And if you have the hammer, then you can get Bonkers, the monkey from Smash Run, as your helper. Even though it is slightly creepy that it really, really looks like Kirby is kissing your partner when he's helping his partner refill their health and vice versa, it's a Kirby game. Expect weirdness. And then you also have the fact that the enemies are just so much more fun to fight. Because the animations are smoother, there's more things you can do with your copy abilities. The sword is one of my particular favorites. Not only because Kirby looks like a ripoff of Link, but just because you can pull off some truly amazing combos. And fighting Meta Knight is, believe it or not, even more fun than it was in Kirby's Adventure. And I never thought I would say that. But within that basic Kirby universe are also variables, and that's where the multiple games come in. And there's not really too much of a particular order, but the game, for some odd reason, forces you to play them in a certain order. And it's different than the original version. But overall, I found that was okay, because it felt like the game was gradually testing my knowledge of what I knew about the game, and then said, okay, well, you think you could breeze through this? Well, try it on this amplified difficulty. And I did. Out of all the games they had to offer, I'm pretty sure I only couldn't get one of them. So, first you got Spring Breeze, which is essentially a stupid easy remake of Kirby's Dream Land with full color and copy abilities, and the ability to run. And it was stupid short. I could beat it in like 4 minutes, which is a huge compliment, because I hated the original Dreamland. Then you got Gourmet Race, which is where Kirby and King Dedede basically race through 3 courses to see who can eat as much food as they can, along with a super cool remake of the Dreamland stage in Smash Brothers, even though technically this song came first. Then we've got the Great Cave Offensive, which is where Kirby has to run through this gigantic cave that was also a stage in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. You're sensing a pattern here. Don't worry. The notion continues, trust me. And You essentially have to navigate one giant map, and there's up to 60 treasures that you can find. And even though it's fun to collect the treasures, and it's cool to see little nods to previous games, like you can find a Metroid Screw Attack or a Donkey Kong barrel, the treasures don't really serve much in getting through the cave. I mean, to my knowledge, you can still get through the cave and not collect a single treasure, and it's not going to be game-breaking. I mean, I thought, oh, cool, I have a Screw Attack. Maybe that'll give me a Screw Attack power-up like they did in Melee. Well, for once, they didn't copy Smash Brothers, and I got nothing. Then we get on to Dynablade, which is basically kind of like the groundwork set, but with Spring Breeze, except now it's all new courses and all new bosses and a brand new final boss called Dynablade. And then there's Revenge of Meta Knight. There's so many games to talk about in this collection. Sheesh. Revenge of Meta Knight, which is where Kirby has to gradually take down Meta Knight's ship, the Halberd, and especially on the DS, since they have brand new computer animated cutscenes, which at first glance look kind of ugly, but then when you get into this mode, you're just like, I take it all back. Seeing the entire Halberd stage looking exactly like it does in Brawl on the DS is phenomenal. And especially seeing Kirby dodge all those lasers so cool-like, and Meta Knight and his companions actually have a running commentary in the background as you're walking through the ship. I mean, how often does a Kirby game, a simple, dumb platformer, have background narration, especially when it's this funny, and sometimes the enemies will just outright tell you what to expect. Typical bad guys. And of course, Meta Knight fights you, like he does in Kirby's Adventure, so that of course wraps up an amazing adventure. There's also an arena mode where you can fight enemies Smash Brothers style and even have limited healing items. Goodness, Sakurai, have some originality, will you? Helper for Hero, which is where you can have helper characters be the main character instead of Kirby. And then there's Milky Way Wishes, which is where you don't get copy abilities by sucking up enemies. Instead, you find them on the map, and then you can select them whenever you want on the touchscreen and try to get to the end. Overall, yeah, if you look past a lot of Smash Brothers comparisons, Kirby Superstar just oozes a lot of fun and charm. And I haven't even talked about all the other new games that this has to offer over the Super Nintendo version, but that's because it was such a joy to discover how much more they could do with the established formula. Like, oh, cool, I thought I had seen everything. Now they pulled out another super cool mode, including making Meta Knight much, much, much cooler. I won't spoil it, but one of the coolest uses I've seen for him in any game. And it's just every little thing you do in Kirby Superstar, from the way Kirby jumps, to the way he swims, to the way he uses his copy abilities. It's fluid, fun to control, and the extra touchscreen allows for the layout to be far less cluttered than it ever was on the Super Nintendo. It also helps that this has one of the catchiest soundtracks I've ever heard. That's non-orchestrated, mind you, because that Super Nintendo quality can get really grating, along with the game actually having a sound test. Hallelujah! And the fact that it's actually a good Kirby game. Now, the odd thing about Kirby Superstar Ultra is that unless my memory is going bad in my old age, I think they took it off of the Wii U eShop, because now you can only get the regular Kirby Superstar. And also in Kirby's Dream Collection, you only get the regular Kirby Superstar. Why has this game never been ported? It's clearly the superior version. Well, if you can find it for the DS and you happen to have a 3DS, then by all means, pick this up. If you're not a Kirby fan, pick it up even more, because this game will probably be the one that changes your mind. It definitely changed mine, and now I'm actually excited for going to Kirby's Dream Land 3 in my upcoming Kirby Marathon. So, thank you very much for watching. And until the next time, keep the faith, stay epic, and God bless. Bye.